It is an honor to stand here before you tonight as we celebrate someone whose impact is felt far more often than it is seen, whose influence has quietly shaped this community for decades. Some people lead from out front, others lead from behind the scenes, never seeking recognition, never asking for credit, simply ensuring that things get done and that they get done well. Tonight's Civic Award honoree, Terri Haas, is the very definition of that kind of leader. Terri is a constant, quiet force for good in the world. She brings with her a sense of calm, a sense of peace, and perhaps most importantly, a sense of certainty that whatever responsibility she takes on will be handled with care, with thoughtfulness, and with excellence. When Terri is involved, you simply know that things will come together. Her journey of service began early. At just 17 years old, she started working at Ozaki Bank, a role that grew from a part-time high school job into a remarkable 30-year career. Where Terri ultimately served as vice president, managing 11 buildings across 5 communities. Ozaki Bank encouraged its employees to get involved in the community, and that nudge sparked a lifelong commitment to giving back in Terri. And give back she has. Terri has been a vital force behind the success of the Greater Cedarburg Foundation, serving on its board, supporting its work, and playing a key role in organizing GCF events year after year after year, with the kind of seamless precision that only happens when someone cares deeply about every detail. As one nominator, Patty Lund Hansen, said so perfectly, that her leadership and can-do spirit have touched nearly every aspect of the foundation's work, and through it, the entire community. But her impact extends far beyond GCF. Terri has dedicated herself to organizations like United Way and the American Cancer Society, where she not only served as the president and vice president of the Northern Ozaki chapter, but she also chaired Relay for Life for many years. She has spent countless hours volunteering with Junior Achievement, helping students in the classroom. Junior Achievement wasn't the only place that Terri has given back to our area schools. She also spent many years on St. Francis Borgia's Schools Home and School Association and served as the treasurer for the Auction for the Heart, the school's largest fundraiser, for many years. For 25 years, she has served the Ozaki County Jail Literacy Program's Board of Directors, continuing even today to help connect incarcerated parents with their children through reading, offered not just offering books, but hope, dignity, and a second chance. That work alone speaks volumes to her belief in people and her quiet determination to make a difference where it matters the most. Terri and her husband, Dennis, have 2 sons and 4 grandchildren. Can you guess what Terry's busy doing today? You guessed it, babysitting, and even more volunteering. She's quietly stepped up to help in her grandkids' schools because for Terri, service isn't just something you do, it is simply who you are. And through it all, she has remained steadfastly humble. That humility is not surprising to anyone who knows her, because Terri doesn't just do this work. She doesn't do it for the recognition. She does it because she believes in it. She gives, and she gives, and she gives some more. She never asks for anything in return, other than the success of the organizations and the people she serves. That is so rare, and it is extraordinary. Her strength is not loud, but it is unwavering. Her impact is not flashy, but it is lasting. She is the person who makes things happen, the person who studies a room, the person who ensures that good work continues, not just today, but for years to come. And tonight we have the privilege of recognizing that. So please join me in celebrating someone who embodies the very spirit of the Civic Award, someone whose quiet dedication has made a profound difference in countless lives, and someone who reminds us all what true service looks like. It is my great honor to introduce the recipient of this year's Civic Award, Terri Haas.
just told Katie that I'm not sure how calm I am right now. Those of you that know me know that I am a behind-the-scenes kind of person, and I don't like being in the spotlight, and I especially don't like speaking in public. When Joe called and asked if he could stop by and discuss the Civic event, I just assumed he wanted to go over the details of the event. Maybe it's something had changed, or I don't know. We discussed some of the basics, and then I asked if the board had some good nominations to choose from this year. And he looked at me and he said, "Yes, you." Took me a minute or so to comprehend what he was telling me. Needless to say, I was totally shocked. I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. This is just amazing. I've received so many phone calls and cards and messages congratulating me. Special thank you to my family for coming out to support me tonight. My husband Dennis, who never complains when I have projects spread out all over the living room and the kitchen. My sons Matt and Ben are here with their lovely ladies, Lindsay and Danielle. And as Katie mentioned, they've given me my most favorite volunteer activity, and that is babysitting for our 4 grandkids. Sometimes gets a little hectic, but I do love it. My brother Paul and his family are here, his wife Shelley, their daughter Sam and her husband Jacob. I'm sure everyone had other places that they could be tonight. Cousin Gary's celebrating a birthday here with us tonight, so I'm sure he'd rather be home with his girls. I do have one other brother. He is unfortunately facing some challenges after the record flooding up in Fremont, the Wolf River, and otherwise he would have been here too tonight. So my support has just been amazing, and I would like to thank my friend Patty Galoon Hansen for nominating me for this award. My dad died at a young age, and my mom worked a lot longer than she had to, and she used to always say, "What would I do if I retired?" I said, "There's so many volunteer activities out there, you'd never be bored." Well, she did finally retire, and she wasn't bored. She kept herself busy. But me, I'm loving this phase of my life. All the volunteering and just the special time. I spend Thursdays at Northern Ozaki Elementary School, and I love seeing my grandsons, sometimes being able to work with their classes. There I get paid in hugs. Sometimes artwork that one of the kids have done in class, whether it's one of my grandsons or one of the other little ones that I see every day. It's just rewarding to get that hug and that hold my hand thing. But I have to tell you, I do have a whole new respect for teachers who spend all day with kids. I got involved with the Ozaki County Jail Literacy Program almost 30 years ago. I remember Jim Coots coming in to see Mel, and he told me that there was a board looking for some volunteers, and he thought I might be a good fit. At first I thought, those individuals are there because of poor choices they made in their lives, and is that really a program that I want to get involved in? As I learned a bit more about them, I thought I'd give it a try. They're a 501c3 nonprofit literacy organization, and they were founded in 1992 by a former MATC teacher and Cedarburg native, or Cedarburg resident, Nina Walker. Their mission is to provide meaningful education opportunities to incarcerated adults through compassionate delivery of services and community support in a non-discriminatory educational environment. It's the first private agency in Wisconsin to provide education at the jail level. It's privately funded through grants and donations, and the program operates without taxpayer support, relying instead on the generosity of individuals, businesses, and foundations committing to making a lasting difference. Their numbers tell an incredible story. 30 to 40 students are served annually. They're limited to 10 students in the classroom at one time, and all students go through a process which requires them to apply to the program and then be vetted by the Sheriff's Department. If they misbehave in any fashion, they are dropped from the program. They lose their classroom privileges. 1,300 students have received skills in literacy, employment training, and personal development, as well as art and mindfulness. We also teach financial literacy, and we have 2 volunteers from Port Washington State Bank who come in twice a month to teach that program. It's a 4-week certification course, and it covers financial empowerment, setting SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, and then putting them into action, tracking income and benefits, savings, managing debt, understanding credit reports and scores, and strategies for getting them through the month. 392 students have earned either their GED or HSED certificates, setting them on a new path forward. You might wonder why we have only 392 graduates when we've touched over 1,300 inmates. It's because oftentimes they get transferred before completing the program, and we really don't have a way to track them after that. We've had a couple graduates reach out to us over the years and thank us. In November of 2000, graduate number 120 earned his credentials. He currently lives in Port Washington and owns his own successful business. Just recently, a student contacted us with questions about her HSED records and said she was getting started on her technical college nursing education. Providing OCJLP students with education and personal and employment skills positively impacts them, their families, and our community, and it ultimately reduces recidivism. In July of 2022, review of the program's last 100 graduates by the Ozaukee County Sheriff's Office. So that was dated from December of 2012 to July of 22. The recidivism rate for the program's graduates was 46%. That's well below the national rate of 70% of students who do ultimately get rearrested. In the last 4 years, so 2022 through 2025, out of the 29 graduates during that period, only 1 person ended up back in jail. Now, I do have to quantify that by saying that data is only based on Wisconsin recidivism because we did not have access to the national records. But I think that's still a pretty impressive number. After students receive their degrees, we have a graduation ceremony and a picture is taken of them in cap and gown, and it's sent to their family along with their diplomas. And then the students make a little speech about what it's meant to them, keeping in mind that it's a privilege for them to be in the classroom. Again, any mess up and they're out. Suburban Harley-Davidson has been a supporter of our program, and they provide a t-shirt, and upon release, the inmates can get that. And we give them a copy of Joe Fazio's book on how money works. I continue to be involved with the program through its family literacy program. I go into the classroom and I record an inmate as they read a book to their child, and then I send the book and the recording to the child's guardian. It's a small way for the parents to stay connected to their children. The inmates in the program must be in our class for at least a month and in good standing to pursue that opportunity. And then there's the Greater Cedarburg Foundation. We all know what a great organization this is. I've actually been involved in one fashion or another with the Cedarburg Foundation pretty much from the beginning. I remember Mal and Jim Coots, there's that name again, and a number of other prominent Cedarburg residents meeting and discussing the idea of a charitable organization that would promote and encourage private funding to support projects and programs that enhance the quality of life in the greater Cedarburg community. I remember the very first gala at Joe and Nancy Messenger's house 19 years ago. They had a huge tent set up, music, and a few auction items. I think the auction might have been a last-minute idea because Mel asked me the day before if I would like to come and be the cashier for the evening. I don't remember how much they raised, but it was the first in a long line of fun, successful events. The gala is the foundation's largest fundraiser each year, and everyone should mark their calendars for Saturday, October 3rd, for what promises to be another fun night. The Greater Cedarburg Foundation has assisted with so many worthwhile projects in Cedarburg and the surrounding communities. This wonderful building that we're in this evening is a prime example. The band shell at Cedar Creek Park, Cedarburg Library, Summer Sounds, Ozaki Family Services, Ozaki Nonprofit Center, Mr. Bob's Under the Bridge, Ozaki Food Alliance, Saukville Food Pantry, Cedarburg Art Museum, Advocates of Ozaki, Mel's Charities, River Edge, and so very many more. Over $2 million have been granted over the years, and I'm very proud to have been a part of it and to continue to be a part of it. Once again, I'd like to thank the Greater Cedarburg Foundation and its board for this huge honor. I've made so many friends over the years with the involvement, and I cherish them all. It's been an honor to be among so many great people, and I thank you all for coming out tonight to show your support for me and for all the wonderful organizations that have received grants this evening. So thank you all.
I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that as part of receiving this award, Terri gets to give a $1,000 grant to a charitable organization of her choice. I'm wondering if you guys might be able to guess that Terri has chosen to honor the Ozaki County Jail Literacy Program with that grant. So. And I also wanted to just make a quick note that if you didn't believe any of the things I said about Terri before she gave that talk, where I don't think she mentioned anything that she did the entire time. She just spent the entire time trying to convince you to support these other wonderful organizations. That was exactly what I meant by leading with humility and just grace. So thank you, Terri, for you.